I have visited every shop in Dallas, and they is all full shit of full. From Edison to Arlington from Louisville. Neither of the shops want to tune my car cause I bought my supercharger on Craigslist. I even gave credit card info to one of the 3 popular shops. Know you what they did? They told me they was gonna order parts and never did. And if the shop told me $1,500 for upper and lower control arms with a Ford racing drive shaft I had bought on Craigslist, new driver saft at that. The 3rd shop I made 3 appointments to get my car tuned, and they did scheduled 3 times. Well, I spun a bearing as my motor last night, and I found a guy in Garland that is gone head over heels to just get the job done. He gonna build my motor, and whatever else I need done he has my biz. To those other 3 shops, fuck off. Y'all seem to have forgotten how y'all got started. Them 3 shops will get shitty referrals from me.
Something does not make sense. You are saying that they did not want to tune your car because you bought your supercharger on Craigslist? Considering that you just spun a bearing, I think they saw more than a Craigslist issue at hand here.
I has been waiting 10 years for a supercharger and I almost had to beg them to tune my car, and I will be damned if I beg any man on this earth. I had no problem paying to correct any issues they saw if they would have told me, and I would have paid them to fix it. And no, I did not have a spun bearing. When I went into the shop after the motor is done, I going to Houston to get the car tuned because I don't want someone to tune my car that don't want to tune it.
What I was alluding to is that they might have seen a potential bomb to be strapped to their dyno. If someone walked into my shop with a car that looks like it'll fail to even hit redline, asking for a dyno, I'd be weary. Maybe they didn't want to work on your car because they decided your money would be better spent on an education.
Education has nothing to do with it. I don't has a degree, but I do have a business, and that don't require any education, so go read a book.
Wow. Business must be booming, since it only took you 10 years to afford a supercharger. What business doesn't require an education of some sort? You might want to listen to the local professionals who are trying to help you. Think about it, seriously, dude. But hey, what do I know? I wasn't there to see 3 professional late model hot rod shops tell you the same thing. I don't know what issues you had, but if all 3 shops said they didn't want to tune it, that might be because there were some major issues that needed to be fixed first. The real Mr. Ed from the TV show had more of a brain than you. He could talk, use a phone, and knew when to shut the fuck up.
Gearheads did tell me to correct this and that. And I did do as I was instructed. I also gave them my credit card info and was told they was get back in touch to schedule work. I called repeatedly to find out the status of the work schedule. You know what I was told? I will call you back, and the call back never came. Why would I give you my credit card number and call a shop to fix my mistakes on my inexperienced supercharger install if I'm such a idiot? So way I see it, I ask the correct people who pose to be the experts. I don't know why. If 7 grand on the tack is not why the bearing spun, then what is this? Is the scound motor in less than a year? The other motor spun a bearing also less than a year ago. It is getting fucking expensive. Just gotta rebuild another one, which I hate. Being this one is less than a year old. Maybe the problem is the car ain't tuned. Do you beg a man to work on your stuff and pay him? Come on now, my customers was leave if they called, and I never called back, so I forced to look elsewhere.
Dude, my head is starting to hurt. It is astonishing that you have a bank account, let alone a business, based upon your inability to even speak properly. There are 6-year-old kids with Down syndrome that have a better grasp of the English language than you do. It is obvious that you do not value an education. Keeping that in mind, it is no surprise that you are fucking clueless when it comes to performance cars. You do not even have an elementary school education, but yet you want to argue with shops that have been in business for years. Do you think that yours is the first car they have ever worked on? I have personally used Gearheads and other shops on this forum and have not had an issue. Had you actually made it past the 5th grade, you would have learned about constants and variables. You are the constant and the shops are the variables. I would write this out on a chalkboard for you, but you obviously cannot fucking read.
You are right, them guys at Gearheads are smart, and I was impressed to Chanical side it's just that the other part never came through. Point I felt like they left me hanging. Could you imagine if you call the air condition guy in August and he never showed up?
If I called you to do my AC work, I would not be surprised at all if you left me hanging. I highly doubt that you could read a fucking map to get to my house. I'm guessing that if you walked into these shops talking the way you type, that's why none of them wanted to work on your car. You probably confused the hell out of them, and they had no goddamn idea you wanted done anyways. You called, wanting these shops to tune your time bomb. Had they tuned it and spun a bearing on their dyno, you would be on here trashing that shop because they blew your motor. Did you ever tell any of these shops that you were not happy, or did you just decide to cry about it on the internet?
Nope. When my customers are upset with me, they go find someone else to give their money to that can do the same thing just as I will. I would do the work myself, but am not allowed to work on my car in my apartment complex.
If all these shops are so stupid, then why don't you just rent a place and do it yourself? It sounds like all these shops viewed you as the retarded, dumb fuck problem child that you are, and made a smart business decision not to touch your ticking time bomb.
You are a very stupid man. Never did these shops turn me away. They just didn't do what they said they was do. I ain't not mad about spinning a bearing. I have another short block sitting inside of my shop.
You have nowhere to work on your car, yet you say that you have a shop, not someone else's shop, but your own shop. I was just clarifying whether or not you have a shop, because you have to admit you are giving the different signals here. You say that you live in an apartment and can't work on your car, but you have another engine at your shop. It sounds to me like the retarded guy from Sling Blade put a supercharger on his car and is trying to get someone to step on a landmine and tune his shitbox.
Y'all is just jealous that can't you afford a beast like what I's gon' have. When lap middle I's done with my car, y'all won't stand a chance. Day is gone. Get my motor good built.
Holy fucking shit. You really don't get it. I can't fucking believe that there are actually people as mentally incapacitated as you are. Look fucktard, how hard is it to understand that none of these shops want to deal with you because they saw you and your shitbox as a problem child that they did not want to have to change the diapers on? Everybody listen. Mr. Ed, you are such a dumb git motherfucker that you can actually hear the wind blowing in between your ears. In regards to your car, stop driving it like a moron, and it is likely it won't pop a motor.